Well, hello and welcome back to another video. This morning, it's a Sunday morning. Man, it's not even really morning, it's midday. Sunday, it's dreary, kind of drizzly, windy. All right, it's a bye week for the Bengals, so no football really to watch. So I thought what I would do, since it is windy and we're basically at the end of fall color, is I would grab my Leica Q and head out and see if I could capture a couple of images here at the end of the fall season. All right, see if there's maybe something that turns out. Don't know, we'll find out, but take a drive around here and see if we can find something. So thanks for coming along, everybody. All right, so the first place I'm stopping is a place I came to last year, just not too far from home. There's a little pond here. All right, if you remember last year when I was walking through here, I spooked up a deer out of this area. All right, so how are we going to capture these images? I'm going to leave ISO on auto. I'm going to shoot at 1/500th of a second and let, the Leica Q choose the aperture, which my guess is I'm going to be anywhere from 1.7 to 2.8, all right, depending on angle and light and everything else. Now, the important thing to remember here, again, just like last year, this is private property coming up here, so I'm going to basically have to stand up by this guardrail here, look ahead, all right, and try to capture this pond. Now, on a windy morning, odds are we're not going to get much of a reflection, but it is what it is. I guess I could have turned my light on. Maybe that'll help a little bit. It isn't, even though it's midday, it's cloudy and crappy, okay? So, okay, we're here. Again, this is it. You can see here. All right, so we're going to stand right here on the road, see if we can capture an image. So let's turn the camera on. That would be smart. All right. Getting a little bit of reflection. Let's move up a little bit. Kind of hard to do when you don't have a tripod, but that's what we're doing. All right. We'll take vertical and horizontal, just so we capture both. And looking at this, it's showing f1.7, 1/500th of a second. All right, so we captured that image. So let's move on to another area, see if we can capture something there, before we call it a day and head home. All right. See nothing coming from a car standpoint, so we should be okay to walk along here. You can see the adventure Jeep up there. All right, so if an image here turns out, I'll put it in here for you to see. All right, well, this spot here we came to last year, probably in December or January. Photographed this tree, which looks like we're too late here to get any leaves, so we're still going to capture it just because. And again, this is a lousy day from no light, windy, just not really great. I think I'm going to switch my shutter speed down to what, 1/250th of a second, just to see how that works. Let's capture an image here. Now we'll do the same as we did the last, vertical and horizontal. And then over here, I don't know if you can see me doing that because I'm not really, I just got the GoPro sitting here on the hood of the adventure Jeep. There is a nice tree over here though. Let's grab the camera here. All right, so if you look, nice tree there. I just don't know how we make it look good with, you know, the fence and the house and everything else at 28 millimeters. And then of course there's barbed wire here, but we're going to try it anyway. All right, let's see if we can capture anything. I don't know if that'll turn out. Don't know if any of this turns out. Let's look down this road. See what we got here. A car coming. So here, take a look. Not much in the way of color. Again, it's not the greatest, but still, we're trying to capture anything we can. So let's get out here and use the road as the leading line. All right, and see if we can capture something here. Now we're shooting between ISO 100 and 200, but still in the F, like I said, F2, F2.2, F1.7. So we're gonna move on and see if we find something else. All right, so as I drive around, walk around, you know, just try to cover a different area, I'm finding that most of the leaves are gone. We had storms come through last night, all right, that obviously impacted what we got. I mean, you can look along the ground here, you can see leaves everywhere, and you can look at what, you know, a lot of the trees are bare. You know, it is what it is. I mean, it's that time of year. You know, leaves are supposed to be falling. We just got, you know, unfortunately, weather last night that came through and took care of what we had for leaves, or most of the color. All right, that is what it is. The interesting thing is, windy today, right? Not great, but later today or tonight, we're calling for snow. It's hard to believe. You know, it's already snowing up in Northwest Ohio. Seen some pictures from up there. Haven't heard anything yet from Indianapolis, but I'm assuming it's probably snowing there too. All right, if not, it will be shortly. All right, and then we'll see some here, without a doubt, but it is what it is. All right, been in an area here along the Ohio River where a lot of fishermen come, although today, I guess probably because of the weather, yeah, there's none out here. You know, there's really not a lot in the way of leaves or anything else. Oops, I guess I should video myself, but I am going to take a couple images here just so we can, you know, have them. That's not too bad looking up the road here with the road as the leading line. And then of course we got some water over here, so we'll come up with something and hopefully do a better job of pictures and images and everything else that I'm doing up to this point. So all right, let's see what I can get. All right, so we're along the country road we've been on before, and last year we tried to photograph this old rusty truck sitting out there. Yeah, came through and you know, although as you can tell most of the color's muted and gone, you know, still take the same image with the Leica Q. You know, last year we did it with heck, I think we're using the OM1 Mark II. All right, we'll try it with this. I may put a couple images in here, one with color, one with black and white, just so you can see a little bit of difference. But you know, everything I'm seeing out here today is not great. I mean, it's just, you know, but it is what it is. Let's go see if we can find something else, maybe to photograph here before I head home. So let's see what we can find. All right, so we've been out taking plenty of images. There's something I haven't put in that was worth taking. here along this old, road, the old barn, and a couple other things. I'll throw them in here for you to see. All right, so now, what I wanted to take a couple minutes to talk about is the Leica Q. All right, I've owned it now for a year. Certainly it's, I got it when I was 10 years old. If you remember back at the beginning, I had dust and everything in it. I sent it in, had it repaired, and it's been a nice little companion to have along. I mean, it's a great little camera. All right, does what you need it to do, works, pretty much flawlessly. But again, remember, this is a 24 megapixel camera that's 10 years old. All right. So now, is the Leica Q, relevant, or is it something that you can use here coming into 2026? The answer, I think, is yes. Now, does it have all of the bells and whistles, say, of my OM1 Mark II? No. Does it have the dynamic range of some of the other cameras that are out there? No. Does it have the focus capability of some of the other cameras that are out there? No. It's 10-year-old technology, but it still takes great images. It's still a lot of fun to shoot, and most importantly, with any camera, I enjoy it. So it's definitely relevant. It's definitely something that I would recommend. If you can find one out there, somewhere around, I'm going to say $1,800 to $2,200. Probably something you want to buy. It's something, if you're looking for something that, got a fixed lens, point and shoot, easy to carry, just a lot of fun to shoot, this is definitely something you want to have. All right. Now, if you're looking for something like the OM1 Mark II, where you've got built-in filters and all the computational features and everything else, it doesn't have any of that. All right. This is the absolute opposite of that. All right. But that doesn't make it bad. I enjoy both. All right. I like having all the features and everything in the OM1 when I'm out, really trying to capture, great images. It's nice to have a lot of different things to play with. But yet this, I have just the ability to go out and shoot. It's easy, it's light, it's simple, and I don't have to think really any. I just, I don't have to worry. I just shoot. I mean, it's just different. It's hard to explain until you do it. It's just different. All right, it's just different. But I definitely think it's still relevant. I think whether you're using the Q, the Q2, Q3, or whatever, it doesn't really matter. But even all the way back to the first, this is the Type 116. All right. This is, 24 megapixels. It was, I didn't get the exact date this was manufactured, but somewhere around 2015. All right. This thing's still pretty darn nice, and it's still fun to have, and I don't plan on getting rid of it anytime soon. So yes, it's definitely a product I think if you're interested, you should certainly look at. All right, I'm going to end the video here, hopefully before the more rain and storms come in. All right, and just say, today we went out trying to capture what was left of the fall color. There really wasn't a lot. All right, most of it's gone, and by this time next weekend there probably won't be any leaves left on the trees. So this is pretty much it. So here's what I'm going to do for the balance of the year. This video will come out, and I'm not going to video anything before Christmas, other than I will do another episode of Garage Talk, December episode of that. All right, but I'm going to pretty much take it easy here in the month of December leading into Christmas, and then start back up after the first of the year. So all right, remember to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you own a Leica Q. Let me know what you think, or if it's something you've even considered. If it doesn't interest you, that's fine. I'd love to know that too. But it's, for me, it just, again, I'm a zoom shooter, but I like having this little thing here with a fixed lens because it forces me to think differently, look differently, and it changes the way I photograph. And to me, that's a good thing. Anytime we're challenging ourselves, I think that's a positive. So again, I'm not going to rant any longer. Leave me some comments. Please let me know what you think. Any ideas, anything you want to see for next year. I know I still never really got much of a chance to do any live composite. It just didn't work out. I did try it a couple times. It didn't work, but that is what it is. But thanks for coming along, everybody. Till we see you again, stay safe.